Okay.
Now I can hear.
You're now tuned into the hottest show in the world. This is Saucy Conversations. This is episode 10. Bringing us in the show is Jay-Z, the legend, for Venus versus Mars. I'll tell you why in a minute. Listen to the verse, y'all. And that was a legend, Jay-Z himself, with Venus versus Mars, and the reason why I'm playing that song today, because this is episode 10, Battle with the Sexiest.
Boom.
So I'm here with my gracious co-host to say what up to Saucy Nation.
Yeah, what's going on, world? This is Mac, bringing that Cross Hudson experience to you.
I'm digging that. This young dad back on the mic. What's up, everybody? Haven't heard from you in a while, but we back on it.
Hey, what's going on? It's Bernice. Glad to be back with family.
And we got some Saucy alumni with us. Say what up to Saucy Nation.
You can hear me.
Hey, this is Uber representing Queens. What's going on, everybody?
Sir.
Hello, it's your girl Kat from the Bronx.
Meow, meow.
Hey, it's Annalise from Queens. Excited to see what we got going on today.
Goddamn, drop it, Saucy.
In the house. Digging that.
Reunion.
Digging
All right.
that.
So, our first topic today
We'll
is
jump right into
Aisha
it.
Curry. I'm going right into it, all right?
Aisha Curry.
So, Aisha Curry made a comment on the red table with Jada Pinkett Smith, and she said that she's not getting enough attention in her DMs, unlike her husband.
What?
You're recapping that to the
Oh,
max.
she feeling neglected, huh?
So, just to paint a picture of Aisha Curry, she's worth $16 million.
Thank God.
Get it, girl.
She has pots and pan lines. She's on the Food Network.
She's a cover girl.
She's a cover
Maker,
girl.
artist.
She's married to one of the top 5 players right now in the league and one of the greatest shooters of all the time. Big house on the hill, big ass rock on her finger, beautiful family. And she made a comment like this.
That's a lot of attention already, though. Damn.
She got a lot of backlash. So since we all gentlemen here, ladies first, please explain the shit.
Please explain this shit.
Yes.
Okay, so I watched the Red Table Talk today, and before I watched it, I was hearing everybody's opinions about Aisha, and I was like, dang, you know what? I was kind of siding with the public, but then I watched the Red Table Talk, and the context around her statement is her, Steph Curry's mom and the sister, I believe, were talking to Jada and Willow, and they were talking about how do the women handle dating men in the NBA who get so much attention. So then she came up with that comment that, you know, they always have to be weary of the women coming towards their men, but it's not the same when it comes to them. Like, that same attention is not happening to them. It wasn't like she was asking for it. It was just a thought. I don't think there was anything wrong with the thought. Like, just speaking out loud, right?
That's a true statement, though.
But didn't she mention that, like, it was also like she felt like a little, not threatened, but it was almost like, I know the amount of women that are after my husband.
Yeah.
And it was like, it feels shitty. Like, I know that I'm confident. I know the man I married and like who he is and how he won't do me dirty. But like, it still feels like some type of way. Like, the way, isn't that what she said also?
Well,
yeah.
She said
Like,
Steph is an outgoing person. So, you know, a lot of women a lot of people, he's very, friendly.
Stuff is too nice.
Yeah, he's
He
too
is.
nice.
Too
Yeah.
nice.
So
Sometimes
gotta
you
be
can
more
talk
by
to a
his side.
female and he don't realize,
Yeah, the boundaries.
Yeah, I think women know when another woman is trying to
Oh, hell
talk
yeah.
to their man or try to, be a little catty.
Did you see that video with the news reporter where she was like interviewing him and then Aisha literally put her hand over her and she started going like that to her. Like, I think that that's kind of what she was referring to in a way.
Yes.
Like,
Steph doesn't look like the type to know when somebody's shooting their shot. I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, he's going home with her every night. I mean, he's a baller. You know what I mean? I mean, not just any baller. He ain't like the 15th man on the squad. This dude is Steph Curry.
He's one of the greatest shooters of all
He's
time.
a superstar. So, you know, he's going to get that attention, and she's going to have to, like, you know, walk a little balance beam of, like, you know, giving him room to do his thing, but know that he got a family. It's a family man. He's coming home to her. So she's got to have a little bit more confidence in what's going on with him and, you know, with people approaching him like that. You know what I mean? I don't think he'll throw all that
Can
away
you
for,
satisfy
like,
a woman?
oh, shit. Let me get that somebody.
You should see the looks.
What? That came out of left
Can you
field.
satisfy a woman?
You know what? I think you know the word insatiable, right? I'm not gonna say. I think you can,
Yeah,
but I believe in the word insatiable.
Matt, can you satisfy a woman? Yeah, I know you.
Nope.
Wow, really?
Volumes today.
You better do that.
I mean,
Break it down.
it depends on the female, because I've been in relationships that no matter what I did, we can go to wherever she wanted to eat. If it was a certain item,
Oh,
like
no,
a
I'm
pair
never
of shoes,
satisfied.
we get the pair of shoes, and she's
Insatiable.
never satisfied. So it's not so much if I feel if a man can do it, what's within his realm to satisfy that woman. But if that woman's accepting of his efforts, that might be where the line is.
But she did say that she's not getting enough of it. Like, she wants the attention from other guys.
But
She said she wants it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's implied, but
No,
She's
about
complaining
to
that she
throw all
don't
the
get
shit
it
she
because
got
her
away
husband
with.
gets it.
She's
So-
comparing
But
herself to.
she should know that because her husband is in this field. It's separate from the life that they have.
she's not gonna get that attention,
Right.
no matter what she
Why?
does.
I think she is.
Why?
Because Steph Curry's wife.
He's
Well,
one
no.
of the
Because-
greatest shooters of all time.
so you're saying people respect him enough
Well-
to respect not trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Steph
Hit
got a
on
reputation.
They
Like, nobody want to
see
mess with
her-
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Unless she fucks up.
Like there's a thin line, and sometimes it's just you have to
I ain't
kind
never
of
think
like.
about
But you know, I don't. She can sell as many pots and pans as she wants to. She's never gonna get the attention that Steph Curry gets because of the discipline of the field that he's in.
I'm talking about,
he's
like,
in the acronym league. She
When I mean
wants it.
attention, I mean like men trying to holler at her in her DM, sliding her DM.
Wait.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'll tell you,
I'm
they
just
don't.
becoming
they're-
familiar with this,
they
so I
won't-
really didn't. I didn't even know about the whole. red
She is
table.
one of the few basketball wives that are like really not about the drama until now. She's very classy. She's not a sex symbol. She's not a bikini model. She's not an Instagram model. I'm sorry, you are known as Steph Curry's wife. And she's a woman of God. Like, she goes to church. She's very classy, very decent. So out of respect, not only because that's his wife, but because of her, it's like she's not getting the attention that basically these Instagram models or cough cough basketball wives are getting from the show. You understand what I mean? Where they're a little bit more out there. And I think she's just having a hard time with that.
Yeah, and flipping the script, like, if I ever got the chance to date Rihanna, right? Shout outs to Rihanna, by the way.
Rihanna called me,
Rihanna.
please. Damn, give me a
Yes.
shot.
But it would be the same situation, right? Like, the type of thirst that she would get would be nowhere, and I'll probably feel a certain way eventually. So I don't think Aisha's in the
Well,
wrong.
it
yet.
depends because all right, let's say you was married to Riri, right?
Right.
And
Okay.
you know,
Mr. Riri.
I'm picturing that right now. So.
You just
it's
like
it's well known that you are married to her. It's in the tabloids and everything.
Right.
So you think that these girls want to be after you
No.
because of her money?
Of
Not
course
as,
they would.
Not as much as. Not
That's
as
the
much
best
as
way
the
to get a
attention that
girl.
she'd be getting.
All right, let's say you
It's to
worth
take your
let's say-
girlfriend out
let's
with
say
you.
you had the same resume as Isha Curry. She's worth $60 million. She got all these brands and all that. You think these, hoes wouldn't be after you?
So you're saying the thirst is stronger from one side than the other?
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation. Like Mary J. Blige's ex-husband, he just got, alimony and all that shit, and he was married to her for like what, 15 years, 20 years.
Wendy Williams.
Wendy Williams,
Right.
he's getting paid off, What was Britney Spears' husband name?
Oh, Kevin Federline.
Kevin Federline.
That
He
ass.
got
Right.
paid. You know
Driving
what
her
I'm
crazy.
saying?
Now she's on the
Yeah.
loony bin or
So
whatever.
I think it all depends on your status, and I think it goes both ways. I think you could get caught up both ways,
Yeah.
man or woman.
Yeah, I think that as far as his wife is concerned and all that, she's a beautiful woman. I mean,
Yeah.
but I think she needs the attention from him because, you know, ain't nobody gonna be DMing her or none of that shit because she's Steph Curry's, you know, wife, and he ain't gonna allow that shit. You see what I'm saying? It ain't gonna go down like that, and she's never gonna have, you know, the Twitter followers or the attention that he gets because of what he does. He's in the acronym league. He's like at the top of the acronym league. He's like a superstar, and so he's gonna always, you know, supersede her in like attention. That's just all that is.
One thing that I noticed about her is that she didn't have a whole phase. She married him very young. I think that was like the only relationship that she had. To be honest with you, I think she probably lost her virginity with him.
She didn't get it out of her system.
She didn't get out of her system. Yeah. She's always been wifey, good-going church girl. So she into this world of Instagram with like all this temptation and all this bam in your face. It's almost like she kind of feels maybe like left out. Like almost like, what am I doing here? Like I'm not quite a Kardashian, but I'm not quite a VH1 basketball wife either. I don't know where I fit in.
It's too damn late.
So long.
It's
so
like he's wondering if the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah, but over here we're like, girl,
trip to Vegas.
like,
that's what she needs. She needs a girl trip to Vegas. That's what she needs. And, you know, and let her get a thing on, whatever she gonna do.
Oh no, because now you got dudes out there that's waiting to.
For the girl to go to Vegas?
Yes.
They're probably flooding her DMs right now.
She's the target.
I mean, she might want to be here.
If it was me, I'd get her pregnant. In a heartbeat.
Oh my God.
I think she's beautiful.
Jeff Curry.
Jeff Curry.
Jeff Curry. Long story short, maybe she's going through the 7-year itch.
Oh.
As they say.
I'm scratching already.
You never heard of that? Most people that have been married, 7 is just the number thrown out there.
That's true. I have heard that.
But most relationships, committed relationships, you get to that point within 7 years or slightly beyond. One party or the other, if not both, they might get that slight desire of that single life.
That's when you plan the trip to Vegas.
Oh my God.
And then also keep in mind, like, men dating attractive women, especially when they have a social status, say like Obama or Steph Curry. Now, you got a cat like Jamie Foxx. He admitted to one time being on stage or in the presence of Michelle Obama, and he had to look down at, you know, what was going on back there. And I'll admit, I'll be guilty as well. We may not be as overt with how we admire women from a distance. We may give them the side eye, get that nice glance, see what the silhouette is like, keep it moving. But I will say, from my experience, women in that same position, y'all are very sly and sneaky with it. You'll take certain feminine cues like, oh, hi, it was so good meeting you. I loved your speech. And you know how you do that? Those social zones. You go from the personal to the intimate social zone with the hand on the shoulder, the little head tilt.
Psychology.
You want to smile just right to get the dimple show.
I mean, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you do you plead the fifth?
Would a woman prefer that? Would a woman prefer that silhouette, or would they prefer a person coming up to them and just tell them, "Hey, I think you're gorgeous. You know what I mean? I like what you wearing. No disrespect," and then keep it moving from there. You know, fuck the side eye. I want 2 eyes. You know what I mean?
What about Steph and all this? Because this is uncomfortable for him.
Yeah,
I'll be uncomfortable.
But he spoke out and he said he supports what Aisha said.
That's such bullshit.
That's not gonna help any.
I think he did the political move.
Right.
Like, damn,
That's
I gotta
the
play
media
damage
move.
control
That
my
was
wife.
Wait.
That's the media move.
Well,
Because if he
let's
thought
say
somebody
this.
was trying to hit it, he'd be going crazy.
But I have a
Missing
question.
threes and shit.
What is it that you want us to say exactly? Like, do we think what she said was wrong? Is that what you're trying to kind of get us to talk about,
I
or?
think it was wrong, and it put her in a position that, you know, she's kind of a target now.
Nah,
If she's still thinking like that, and let's say something happens, you know, there's some scumbags out there that would tell her everything that she want to hear and looking for a come up.
You know what?
That's all I'm just saying.
If she's looking for some attention, I think she fucked up. Because now she not brought the spotlight on her. So if she was trying to creep, you see what I'm saying, and get her some thing on the side or whatever she was just trying to get, attention or whatever she was trying to get, now my man eyes like all focus lasered on her ass. So now the attention that she wasn't getting, she gonna even get less than that. Because time she go and like somebody give her some attention, he gonna be like, oh, is that what you was looking for? Blah 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? Yep, clap that shit up. You see what I'm saying? So I think she did herself a disservice by doing that. You know what I mean? I think women know how to I think women know how to operate in a way that when they want something, they can get it done without saying a lot of words. And I think she used too many
I feel like
words.
she's gonna learn her lesson soon.
And she might have
She's
made
gonna learn her lesson soon.
Steph more of a target than herself.
That's what I was just thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because now these women are gonna go even harder at him. Like,
Or-
oh really? That's how you feeling? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a spotlight on him.
Sure.
Next
right.
up,
So,
Call me
there are a lot of states that are passing abortion laws, and you know, some people agree with it, some people don't. I'm gonna get the floor to the ladies and get their opinion on these bills that are being passed about abortion.
Why y'all looking at me?
Kat, you like politics? You want to start?
Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of controversy behind it just because there's a lot of history in just the political field, and a lot of the people that make these choices are white men in power. And white men in power have made decisions that control women's decisions and what they do with their body.
But is it really all like men
I'm not
in
saying
power? There are
all
women that are
men,
in these-
But it's what you see. And
Can
what
you
you
repeat the question? Like, what's the actual?
I'm just talking about there have been certain bills that have been passed. about
The
abortion.
Alabama.
The Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially
Alabama
that people, there's a lot of uproar about it.
Illinois, yeah.
and Alabama,
Illinois,
Louisiana.
and all that. So
There's a lot of uproar, and I feel like a lot of it is just coming from the fact that it's kind of backtracking on the whole Roe versus Wade decision. So it's kind of like putting the decision-making power in the hands of the politicians versus the women. So there's a lot of kind of controversy on that.
So, what are things about or things that you heard about the bills that you disagree with? Like one, with me, is about if you get raped or something, you still have to keep the baby and all that. That's one
I
thing
don't
I
disagree.
disagree.
rape, incest, and all that. I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, like, you know, I don't know of a man that not had a baby. So, you know what I mean? I don't know of a fucking man that not had a baby. So, you know, whether they're black, white, fucking Puerto Rican, whatever they are, keep your hands off a woman's body. Who are we to try to govern what a woman does with her body? I think that's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I really, really do. And
Well,
Alabama, go ahead.
I'm just talking about when if a woman gets raped or is incest or something like that, you know, the bill says that she have to keep this baby.
There's
This
there's
is-
no
I-
exception
You went in a
anymore.
different realm.
Right, no, I'm saying even before you get to the incest or the rape, we shouldn't be having anything to do with any of that shit. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I disagree.
You disagree?
If it's if me
What?
wait, not with the rape part. No,
Yeah, I think there's a misunderstanding right now.
Not
Well,
with the, not with the
No,
rape
I'm
part.
talking about if a woman decides, if a woman gets pregnant and she decides for
Wait.
whatever reason,
Wait,
whether it's economical, you know, whatever it is, you know, that she didn't want to have a baby, that should be her fucking
What's
choice.
the question? And it's
no. What I'm asking is, okay, let's say you like me and my girlfriend, right? We messing around or whatever, and she wants.
Y'all
to
doing it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
say
we're
it.
doing it.
Say
Yeah,
Go
we're
ahead.
doing it.
Y'all
Come on,
doing it.
saucy conversation.
Yeah, say it.
We know what to do. So, you know, she wants to get pregnant. You know, and whether she's on the pills or she's not on the pills, she still winds up getting pregnant. And I think that it's up to the man and the woman to decide whether to keep that baby or not just the woman. Because there are a lot of extreme feminists out there that say, oh, if you don't have a clitoris, then you don't have anything
let me say.
to say about this.
Okay.
And I disagree with that.
This is my thing. I don't agree. I don't know. I haven't read too into the whole Alabama law and like what they finally agreed on. But if I always thought this, even before this whole controversy, if it was an incestual thing, if it was a rape thing, yeah, you deserve to have a choice to keep that baby or
I
not.
agree. Totally.
Because you are going to, that baby is going to go through a trauma, and you're going to go through that trauma that you didn't put upon yourself.
Right.
My views are kind of conflicted, and I'll talk about it here, but I barely don't talk about it with anyone else. Because I feel like most of the feminists that are protesting this, like, oh, my body, my choice, they're already like on 7+ abortions, not through rape, not through incest. And it's almost like girl, you know, there's condoms, there's birth control. Like, at this point, you're just being lazy and irresponsible, you know? And not only do you not care about other, you know, your child, you don't care about your body, you don't care about your uterus. So this is where the part that kind of angers me, and it may seem like I'm a little bit more on the Republican side, but I'm not. I'm just like, that's my thing. But in my perfect world, I would think that rape and incest are like, that's it. Like, you need to have a choice when it comes to that.
Yeah, because I had a family member that actually said that if you don't have a uterus, then you shouldn't be giving your opinion on that. Like, she used the holy fuck out of me, because how you get pregnant in the first goddamn place? I'm the one that planted the seed.
Yeah.
So I should have a certain say, not the last decision, but a certain say in the conversation whether we could afford this baby or not.
Right.
I think you should have a say personally. I don't think at the state or federal level, I don't think you have a say at all, because we do plant the seed, but we ain't got to carry that baby.
Yeah.
We don't have to deliver that baby. We don't have to deal with the aftermath of raising that baby, because you know how many like single parent families there are, and it's usually the mother that's out there carrying the load. You see what I'm saying? So, again, backing it all the fucking way up, back the truck all the way up. I don't think guys should be saying anything. It's a conversation with you and your girl, you and your woman, you and your spouse, whatever that is. But outside of that, I don't think the government should have shit to say. If you decide that you don't want a baby, you should have that choice. Granted, like you said, V, hell yeah. After so long, you should have the maturity enough to know about contraceptives and all that shit. But if you don't, if you go down that road and you decide that you don't want to bring this baby into this world, because now if you're mandated to bring this baby into this world, now you got this fucking baby that you're resentful of. I gotta have this baby. I got this baby. So now you're gonna neglect the baby. And then all the ramifications down the road is the state taking care of the baby out there not being cared for, another street person and all that shit. So, hey, look here, that's just where I am with it. I think that men really do need to keep their hands and their things off of women's decision, whether or not to have an abortion.
I think I side apart with Vernice in the sense that when it comes to those conditions of rape and incest, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, it's the woman who bears the child. But at the same time, if the man does want to have a say, I think it depends on just how interactive that guy is with the person that they're having that child with, or they have the intercourse with. Yeah. So I feel like it's a very slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a slippery slope situation, but the woman should have the right to have that final decision. But if the man wants to be involved, it depends on how involved they were in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Right. And
Okay, so just going back to the overall abortion. I'm like, holy
Wrap
shit.
it up.
Okay, wrapping it up.
No,
really?
not that. I'm saying wrap that thing
We can
up.
wrap both things up. My answer is that. But I am for pro-choice. I mean, it's not to say that I am for people who are irresponsible, who just want to, abort a child because they're being irresponsible and they don't want to cover up every time. I actually know somebody a guy who told, bragging, oh yeah, I have sex without a condom and I made a girl have an abortion 7 times. It doesn't matter. That, to me, is rude, disrespectful. That is, a life and whatever. It's a woman's body. But I'm not for the act itself, but just the choice. For situations like being raped, you don't know what happens. But also at the same time, it is, I feel, going backwards. I think every woman should have the ability to make the choice. It's not to say I support it, but depending on your morals, your ethics, you got to do what's right for you and what your doctor thinks is safe for you. But to each their own, make the choice. I don't think anybody wants to have an abortion. I don't think anyone looks forward to that. But I think it's always coming down to the situation of the person's personal life. So
yeah. I just think what annoys me the most is the hypocrisy of the lettering of the law. Especially with Alabama, they say there's no exceptions for rape. Mm-hmm. There's no exceptions for incest, but they will allow abortions for cases where the mother's life is at risk. What do you think is rape and incest? Isn't that the same damn thing? So you specifically have men deciding when a woman is at harm, especially in regards to when babies are born, and that's kind of backwards to me. The definitions.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And also another point with this that I would like to bring up. I'm a full believer of the separation of church and state.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times that you hear these politicians speak of this, they always like to throw God in the mix.
Right,
of it.
right.
They always try to give that facade that, oh, we're a Christian nation. No, we're not.
You're not.
We're not a Christian nation, but they want to put this fundamentalist tone with religion in social media to condition the minds to get to accept that. And the sooner people can accept that, the easier path it'll be for them to pass these laws.
Absolutely.
I'm a firm believer it's a woman's body, it's her right. Men shouldn't have that much say-so over how a woman would go about her reproductive health. If they want to turn around and say, you got a few politicals saying, oh, well, it was the choice of God that this happened to her. I'm like, okay, so now what are you gonna take? now are they gonna approach the pharmaceutical community and take Viagra off the market? Because they can say, well, erectile dysfunction was God's choice for you.
Dang.
So now deal with that. So
4,500 guys
Church
said don't do
versus
that.
state is perfect when it comes to this topic. It shouldn't be mixed. Yeah.
I just hope they can get it together. I think it should be on the ballot for 2020.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree.
yeah, but we'll see what happens. All right, so we want to get a special shout out to Clip Vodka. Shout out to Patrick, Frankie, and everybody.
P,
over there.
Big P.
Vodka.
Yes,
Their
sir.
flavor ones.
Hey,
Thank
send it
you.
over, man.
I want the flavored whipped cream one. I want the peach, and then I want the cherry. So whatever I can make this
do they have a
flavors.
melon?
Don't say cherry.
It's
What are we
summertime. You
drinking
need
today?
to make
It
some
tastes
melon
like
They
mojitos.
got cherry?
Yeah, they got cherry flavor.
They got cherry? I like
so
cherry.
they working on getting out to the people, but I don't sell the bottles, so you gotta go on Click Vodka
Yeah, stop
website.
DMing
Yeah,
us. We don't
yeah.
sell the bottles. Go to
Order,
their website.
Online. Also, for our fans in Michigan, there's a number you could call, and they would give you all the locations in Detroit where you could go pick up these bottles at.
What up, though, D?
Don't hit me up, goddamn.
What up, though, D? What up,
All right,
City?
so we got
What we got, Jeff?
some cards.
Oh,
We got
gosh.
old Texas cards. Mac, tell us about the cards.
All right, everybody. What came up with just to make things a little entertaining and address
Entertain me.
some questions that both genders may have for the other.
Over there.
We have some cards with random questions provided by our listeners and some of our staff here at the panel. Some might be a little raunchy and unexpected.
But that is Saucy Conversations,
Man.
raunchy and
We
unexpected.
love the raunch.
You just may not know. So they're separated between gender, and we also have a neutral zone, which is open to the panel. Oh no, keep that.
Oh, I
That's
thought
for
you
the
were
ladies.
shuffling them.
So with that being
Okay.
said, ladies first.
Why would
Take-
we
Oh, so
go
we
first?
it's like we shuffle
Oh,
them?
so you want us to go first?
Nah,
No
it's
problem.
ladies first.
It's like,
Yeah, we can go.
No. This
listen.
is equal
We
opportunity.
are not feminists. Men first.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter because we all know who's gonna win, right?
Oh,
you gotta-
Okay, you know what? For that
Okay.
ladies
I'm
first
just
now.
saying. I'm
Well,
just saying.
We gotta shuffle them.
Excuse me.
Shuffle them like.
Go ahead, shuffle.
So I guess Annalise, you could start.
Why do
So,
I have
so,
to
so it could
Go
be
to
like
the blanks.
like this.
I'm nervous.
Wait, do I give this to her?
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
shuffle.
What? I picked the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
whichever shuffle, like
Whichever
Uno.
one,
Almost.
All right, so this one is gender neutral.
Ooh.
Oh, Lord. Let's see.
All right, ready?
Let's go.
The question is, do you think about other things or people during sex?
Wow.
That wasn't my question.
That trip to the mall.
So that's to us, right?
That's gender neutral.
That's gender neutral. Anybody.
Anybody?
All right,
Does
I'll
anyone
go
want
first.
to answer?
Okay,
Say the
beautiful.
question again? I'm sorry.
All right. The question is, do you think about other things or people during sex?
Yes.
Ah.
Sometimes.
What do you think about, Jeff?
I'm
The
not
whole
gonna
world
lie,
wants
I
to
do
know.
get
Think
hungry.
about the things I'm
I
about
do
to
get
do.
hungry during sex. Sometimes I be thinking about them tacos. Like, you know, it's a good night.
Yeah, I'm
Tacos
thinking
to
about,
be
I'm thinking about tacos too. I'm thinking
I
about
don't think about no
Taco
food.
Supreme.
I'm thinking about
I'm fat, so
Now I think about what I'm about to do,
Oh.
and because I like to vision it out and everything, play it out. And do I? Okay, so if the poom poom was whack, then
You said the poom poom. Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in a minute.
He's trying to be classy.
That's classy.
it's saucy ball that way. Never heard that in a while.
I haven't heard that in a minute.
But if the poom poom's whack, if you don't know what poom poom is, it's pussy.
I think we get it.
Keep going.
Just for the slow people out there.
I like to think of my favorite porn star, and I'm actually doing her at the moment pocket.
No. Really?
Yeah.
I knew the guys did that.
No.
Yes, I did.
One
Listen,
guy
because
says it
I
and all
watch
guys-
porn. Okay, I
so-
watch porn, and there's times that like to get tips or whatever, and there's times that
You have to.
I would be doing my thing, and all of a sudden I see a person. I'm like, wait a minute, I feel like I've seen this before, and I'm like, that porn star kind of looks like me. I knew you guys did that.
Yeah.
Wait, so Jeff, does that mean that you don't love your girl or that the sex is not good? Well, you said if the sex is whack.
If it's my girl, then it's obviously why she's my girl. But if it's like, a one night stand or it's this girl I'm just messing with or something like that, and
Can I ask you something?
if it's
What
whack, then I
what
have to
is the
get my-
definition of the
I'm-
poom poom being whack?
Ooh.
What does that mean?
There's a lot of meanings to
That's
that.
I want to know.
That is actually addressed.
Dry.
Is that another
Yeah.
question?
One is dry. One, she's not working.
Well, if she's dry, that means she ain't turned on. Just
Number three.
Ooh, okay, the feminist is
three.
power.
Number three. See, this is the problem. See, a lot of cases I've been in, a lot of women talk a lot of shit and what they do in the bedroom, and when it comes down to it, it's overrated. Seriously, so if you're gonna talk shit that you know how to give good head, right? And then we actually in the moment and it is actually trash, then that's when I think I'm my favorite porn star and try to come real quick. I'm just saying.
Some guys like to be more active.
Oh yeah.
Some women don't.
Right.
That could be considered whack poom poom.
Yes.
I think this is the most time people have said poom poom in like the history of
I know.
like.
I'm not.
Alright,
You gotta get the t-shirt over.
let's go on to the next one. Oh.
Are we going to the next? Oh,
Yeah.
we're leaving the poom poom. Okay.
Alright, this would be addressed.
I wanted to say something. That's okay though.
This one would be addressed to the women. If marriage is considered to be a contract, shouldn't it be renewed or reevaluated every 5 to 7 years like a performance appraisal?
Oh,
Look at how I asked that.
Oh.
Wow.
That's heavy.
Damn.
Damn.
That's heavy.
No, it should not be considered every few years.
Wait,
You said
so marriage shouldn't be considered. Marriage is considered to be a contract, but if that's the case, should it be either that contract be either renewed or reevaluated every 5 to
when
7
you say
years?
reevaluated, like to end the marriage.
The state of the relationship. Whether it's like having a car on lease. When it's time to turn that car in,
But
you
then
got
would the
option-
vows change
you
for
have the
better,
option
for
to
worse,
buy.
or
It
sickness
depends
and
on the
health?
state of the relationship. But just based on this, if you were in a marriage or even say a committed relationship, if you feel bumps are in the road and it's a contract, you come up to that 5th or 7th year within your contract.
Who's
term,
deciding?
Like
Who's deciding?
that should be
a
agreed
woman
between the commercial. the
Is this a
couple.
woman question?
It's a
Yeah,
woman
that's
question.
what-
It's a woman question.
Oh, this in the wrong stack.
I think that it all depends on your partnership, on your relationship. I mean, that's what divorce is. If you're not getting along, you're not getting along with whatever it is. But I don't think that should be like, oh, I don't know, I'm kind of bored, so I want something new. Like, if that's the case, then don't get married from the beginning,
I agree. I don't think that. I feel like for me, everyone do their own thing, but like when you commit to marriage, like you're committing for life,
That's
And-
a long ass time.
Well,
It is,
well,
but if it's loud,
let me
loud.
do this for you. I'll give you a little bit of backstory regarding the gentleman that posed this question. He's not on the panel right now.
Oh, okay.
And it has to do with how during divorce, being that word was brought up, how women tend to go after half of that man's finances should they get divorced.
Good ass question.
But yet, if marriage is considered a contract, but during the case of divorce, depending on the state they're married in, that woman can instantly get half of that man's income.
Is that right?
If you're fearful of
It
it, get a
depends.
prenup.
What about prenup? Yeah.
Wait,
It
wait, wait.
depends,
Yeah,
yeah.
but now we're talking contractual sense. So
Prenup.
therefore, marriage every 5 to 7 years, should it or should it not be renewed or reevaluated as a performance
I mean-
appraisal?
Aisha Curry, if they break up, right? Should Aisha Curry should get half of what Steph owns?
I mean,
Or
I don't.
alimony on that if she worth $16 million?
I mean, she has her own money. I don't think she'll care.
No, I think
No.
she'll get half. I think
I think she would go for it.
I think
Yeah, but she wouldn't be upset if she didn't get it.
But
like,
is it right? Though?
I
I'm actually
would
asking.
differ. I
If
would
you had
differ.
nothing to do with this man shooting in the gym.
I would think she deserves half in the sense of if they didn't get a prenup, you know, they're raising a family together, like they built a life together. So like half of hers and half of his, like that's what it is.
Well, I think.
I don't know. That's what I
Work
think.
that way. It doesn't work out.
That's my
you know what?
opinion.
You know what? I don't think. I think the 5, the 7, the 8 year, whatever year you want to throw in. I think a relationship is constantly being reevaluated, and when that evaluation doesn't fit both parties, that's when you see people part ways. But I think you have to constantly evaluate what's going on. If you wait to 5 years, shit, anything could be going on in 5 years. 5 years is a long fucking time.
That's what I'm
just
saying. It
is,
all
you know
depends
what I
on
mean?
your partnership.
Or 7 years
like-
is a long, when that itch come, whatever that is. So,
Yeah.
I think you have to constantly evaluate things in order to get to 5 years. And I think if you're in a relationship and you get to 5 years, I think you've not reached a milestone, especially in this day and age.
Or
And I think I know this is more in the sense of the more romantic relationship, but it's even considered more like in the platonic and even friendship. You also tend to kind of reconsider how things are going if there tends to be bumps in the road. So I feel like in any kind of relationship, there's also that sense of kind of reevaluating how things are going and considering whether, how should we go about this and how we're really doing.
Or whether we should end it.
Or whether we should end it. So there's always that sense of reconsidering and just giving it thought.
Next question.
It's a good question.
You can go.
Your
I guess
turn.
we'll do boy, girl, boy.
Here,
boy,
shuffle,
girl.
That
because
was
it's
a
a
really
gender
good question
neutral.
back from your friend, man.
Yeah. Are those part of the?
No, these are blank.
Oh.
I can't read, so somebody else.
I didn't realize how this game was going, so we ask a question and you guys answer. You ask a question, we answer.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
Okay, so this question is, what don't women understand about men?
Ooh, good one.
that's for the.
That's posed to us.
That's for y'all.
Yeah.
What don't women understand about men?
Somebody jump on that, please.
That's a deep question.
I'll jump on. Hell, I'll jump on that shit. Tonto jump
Tell
on it.
us, what do we
You
need
know,
to know?
I think what women don't understand about men is that, I listen to hip hop, and if you listen to Tupac, you know what I mean? Tupac said, let a player go out. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. And
That's
he-
science.
As per
Talk that
Tupac
science.
Shakur.
And he will,
Some DMX.
and he will come back. If you have your man too close, if you're keeping him too close, and you got him all pent in, that's gonna make him want to go even more. So give him enough room. Give him enough room to hang himself.
I agree.
If he goes too far, then you fucking do without him. But let him go hang out with the homies. Let him go watch the game. I ain't saying being out 24/7 and no shit like that, but give him some room. That's what women don't know about men. Women tend to choke men. And a woman will get a good ass man, and things will be going really, really well. And the first 6 months, or something like that, things are smooth. And then he decided he want to go out and hang out with the fellas, and all of a sudden, her ass sitting outside the crib or some shit like that. That shit is crazy. You gotta give a guy some room.
To space.
Yeah, you got you.
Make-
you, you,
I apologize.
She's like an individual.
women.
Like he is.
I think that answers that question.
Those
and
are
the
my
more
words
room you
exactly.
give him, the more room you give him, the more likelihood, not more likelihood, the sooner he's gonna come back to you and want to be with you.
Cat gave me that.
No,
It's
it's
on
for
the
all
real.
of you
It's
guys.
on the real.
I'll
Gotta give him
say-
some room.
Yes,
Tell you
every one
guys.
of you should answer.
We
this.
want to
and
know,
you-
just in general.
I agree.
No,
with
everybody.
that.
Yeah, everybody else.
I agree.
I
It's all
would
about
say
that, man.
the one thing in my experience I feel some women don't understand about men is emotional content. We're not 10 men. Yeah, and I've spoken to women that they actually have in their minds that, all a man has to do is go to work and keep the bills paid. That's it. But never mind what we're wearing on our shoulders. Every time we walk outside that door, we dealing with stuff you may not even have an idea about. Especially with today's social climate, the Me Too, that people are actually abusing now. Hell, I think twice about even holding the door open for a woman at this point, and I'm dead ass about that.
Yeah, true that, Mac.
You know, so don't underestimate a man's capacity, and neither should you overestimate him as well, because not all men may have the skill set to fit into that box that some women in society have made for them.
I like that.
Like me, I may be technically skilled with computers, but I can't change a transmission. Don't expect me to change a transmission. I've done landscaping, I can mow your lawn, but I can't fix your plumbing. Pause.
That sounded dirty as hell. But I was like, ooh.
Yeah, fix that plumbing though.
Yeah, I think it's simple. I just think, okay, so men get misconstrued for being stupid at times or slow. But I just believe that life is simple, right? Life isn't complicated. And I think that's what I try to go by and what a lot of men try to go by. And I think there's a lot of overthinking that goes on when it comes to relationship and trying to fit people in boxes. And I think that's the biggest thing that a woman may want to understand about men, that sometimes people aren't meant to be fit into boxes. And life is beautiful. Life is simple. That's basically what I have to say.
My goddamn space.
Pretty much.
It's just simple.
I was like the G-rated
That's
version.
pretty
of
much
that.
said all the same thing.
Just give me my goddamn space. That is it. I don't like when, if I'm playing my game, I'm playing 2K or something like that. There'll be
Let us play 2K. What is so bad about playing 2K?
I don't know why I have a problem with it. Oh, you just gonna just turn on the game.
It's like the worst thing in the world.
Oh, you're not gonna give me attention. I want attention.
And then you turn the game off and nothing.
My boyfriend, when I've been a year with him, and he always invites me, and I think he does it, out of like being polite, but he really doesn't mean it. And he invites me to like his friends' outings, and I'm always like, no, it's okay. And he's like, but why don't you ever want to come? And I'm like, because that's your guy time. Sunday is your guy time. Like, you have the 6 days out of the week with me. Like, I don't want you to lose sight of your individuality.
Very mature. Very
Yeah.
mature.
Because at the end of the day, you're your own person. If you want to go on vacation with your friends, go on vacation with your friends. If you want to go, whatever you want to do. If you want to dye your hair blue, dye your hair blue. I'm only your girlfriend. I'm only a part of your life. I'm not your whole entire world.
You're an exception.
No, I wasn't always like that. It took me a while. It's maturity.
The whole filter.
Next question. The question, guy's question.
Next question.
Whoever didn't go yet.
I'm going ahead either way.
Yeah.
Okay, this question is for, I guess.
Yeah, that's
For both, yeah.
Would you guide your partner if the sex was bad? Would you guide?
I guess instructions.
Hell yeah.
4B. Would you guide your partner if the sex was bad?
Ladies.
Anybody?
I think the first time I just want to see what you're made of, and the second time I will guide. I mean, I have to be satisfied as well,
But now,
Big red bus.
but now,
You can't read my mind, so I have to help you.
But now, will that guidance come with a metal gauntlet or a satin glove?
What's that supposed to mean?
Nah,
Great question,
Be
though.
aggressive
Yeah.
or smooth and gentle.
Oh no, well, smooth. Obviously, I want it to go well. I gotta talk to you nice.
You know what? And sometimes I don't even know if it's. I don't know. Sometimes words aren't even necessary. I think it's like it could be a positioning of the movement of a hand, or the movement of a person's body or a leg or something like that. So I think we all kind of guide each other. You know what I mean? Because unless you really fucking it up. I mean, if it's that bad, then you got to sit down and just have a whole conversation, like student teacher type shit. But but yeah. So I think we do guide each other.
That's how I meant to. I think also to clarify, almost like whatever I like, maybe something that he's not aware of, but that I want done to me or whatever, that's something that gets me off or whatever. I think that's normal for both parts to kind of be like, hey, can you do this, or vice versa, can you do that? Because that's kind of the way that that's my thing or whatever. And I think that there's a fine line between being disrespectful to your partner, kind of to answer your question, kind of say, oh, you suck at this or whatever, this isn't how I don't want to do this anymore. That's where you fuck up. But I think communication is everything. I think that you shouldn't be shy with the person you're sharing your body with, and and I think there's nothing wrong with that.
There's a thin line between guiding somebody towards good sex and just guiding somebody towards getting you off.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like there's some selfish people out there. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Guiding somebody towards good sex is it's fine, but when you're just trying to get off and not even thinking about the other
Like-
person,
Right.
No, you're good. No, you're
Yeah.
good. Can I just make this question real quick? Does size matter? Or is just emotion and
I
those?
think you better answer
I was like,
that.
size queen.
She was like, wait, why are you asking me?
Size matters.
It has something to do with the question because good
That's
sex,
very
bad
important,
sex,
actually.
You can have bad sex with the guy is not that large or average.
So what are you
Does
asking?
size matter?
Can good sex
or
be
is
had?
Motion in the ocean.
Yeah.
I think it's both. Like,
It goes
Answer,
both
Kat.
ways.
Go
I
for it.
feel like it goes both ways. I mean, I've only heard that
What had happened was
I've heard that the penis has to be like a certain amount of inches in order to kind of like reach.
The G spot? You talking about?
Huh?
You talking about the G spot?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Like it has to hit like a certain like
Angle.
in order for it to happen, but at the same time I feel like it's kind of like with what Bernice said. There has to be that sense of communication of knowing like, okay, I don't like this, or can you try this, or I prefer this, and
I agree.
vice versa. But at the same
That
time,
should
it's
happen
like
over dinner.
Size. I think size matters in both cases. You know what I mean? I don't think a woman wants a little bitty like thing, kind of run up in there.
you don't want to be posed.
No.
I mean, can you reach me?
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Sorry.
Well, okay.
And also, I think you have to be like you got to have a little bit of Lewis and Clark in you. You got to be able to like explore that shit. Hit them walls and do all that.
explore that shit.
Yeah,
Word.
you gotta be able
I
to
will
do
say
that.
this, like scientifically speaking, and fuck it, I can vouch for myself. A lot of women are not that deep.
Vouch for
A
yourself.
lot of women want a big dick, and they can't take it. It's painful.
That's facts.
It's whatever. So it truly does depend on the motion of the ocean. You have to know your body.
Yeah.
You have to know your body. Your partner has to know your body. Like, honestly, size, believe it or not, I don't think it matters that much. It just depends on, like, I know my body. I know that this is what's not painful. This is what works for me. And, I mean, yeah, I think it's technique, in a sense.
All right, next
Agreed.
one.
Some educational stuff going on here. Man.
Yeah.
Really?
Shuffle if you want.
Where's Dr. Roof?
Who's next?
Oh, Bernice.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, okay.
Wait, is it girls? Is
No,
the
it's
the
girls. No,
turn?
it's
Oh,
girls.
oh, hey,
All right, I'll shuffle.
Damn, I'm shuffling.
Okay.
What you got to do? Like some cut for some spades or
Yeah,
something.
I know, right?
Oh, okay, so it's kind of similar. What sex position is the most satisfying? Guys.
Oh, interesting.
For me, it's doggy style.
Yeah, that's all day.
Doggy style?
That's it. Yeah.
You gotta have a fat ass though. You can't have like bones.
You gotta make it jiggle.
Wait, no knuckle butt?
There has to be some jiggle go around. You can't be hurting me with
No
that.
bones, no bones, no bones.
Did you call that a knuckle butt?
Yeah, knuckle butt.
That's
Never
good.
knew that.
Somebody just came up with that.
Yeah, knuckle butt. You
Matt
be like,
did. It's just bone.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
god.
It's just terrible.
So
You
no
got turf
bones.
and everything. It's
But
just-
why doggy style? Though? I'm just
For me, I like the if you have
visuals.
like a
The
nice
vis-
ass.
yeah.
I like the back
The
shot.
The visual.
Like,
Yeah.
like the
It's
wave.
visual.
The
The
visual.
waves
You like the
waves
jello
going
wave.
back and forth like this. It's amazing.
Like the point of view.
I wonder if that's and for me, like for me, I'm going like the straight up like St. Patrick's like type shit. I like the missionary style
Oh, okay.
because I want to see if I got a badass woman and I want to see them pretty ass eyes.
Well, it depends. No,
I
it
wanna see
depends
I
on the
wanna see
person.
Lips, that
If-
ass, the
yeah.
ass. Yeah, you gotta have a nice ass, but I don't want to be. I'm gonna kiss the ass eventually.
You're romantic.
But I want to see her eyes. I want to see them lips.
Battle of the
You know what I'm
sexes,
saying?
like
The titties on the top. You know what I mean? So if I had to narrow it all the way down to one position, I want to go missionary shit. I want the whole
Interesting.
Monty right there.
Mac Daddy.
I like to multitask. So,
Oh, so the Scorpio came out.
What is that?
I don't.
Short, man.
No,
I know
I
you-
honestly keep.
I'm gonna go for
man.
hours.
Keeping it short. I don't know if there's a name,
Oh,
but
gosh.
I kind of like that
You
sideways.
gotta re-edit the camera.
That sideways
The
angle.
scissor.
The scissor.
Ah.
Thank you.
Oh, the
Yeah,
scissor.
That
Yeah,
what?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not
That's what it's called.
gonna.
Wait,
That's what it is.
when you're behind behind
the
her.
singer.
You're
No,
laying
no.
down.
See,
It's
the reason I say
comfortable.
multitask.
Uh-huh.
So imagine this, but within
Oh,
that,
that is the scissor.
you know, depending
Yeah,
on the
that's the
person's
scissor.
You're right.
flexibility,
You're right.
you know, if I want to look at ass, okay, I can look at ass. I got a little bit of breast to play around with. Oh, I can just lean over and play with some of that.
Sounds like the dinner.
I multitask, sir.
They say it's
I
the
know
quiet
you do.
one.
I only have a limited amount of time on this earth.
Because they say that you see and feel everything, and the vaginas are tight, the walls are tighter.
And then it puts you
Yeah.
at a better angle to hit certain things a little
that's-
differently as well. So I'm
Sugar
just,
walls.
Yeah.
Over.
Interesting.
Look at
All
that.
right. All right. What we at next?
The guy has to choose.
Well, so nasty in here.
All right.
All right. We got 5 minutes left.
Okay,
5 minutes.
Not for 2 questions.
All right, what we got?
These questions are kind of messed up.
Shuffle, shuffle.
Shit.
All right, so. All right, this is to the ladies. Do you insist on men always paying on dates? If so, why?
No. I mean, I would like the first date to be paid for. It shows me how much you're invested, but I don't mind splitting the bill half and half or even paying sometimes, like taking turns. But I personally like when the guy pays for the first date.
So if a guy didn't pull out his wallet on the first date when the dinner's over, that wouldn't turn you off.
What if he didn't pull out his wallet on
Yeah,
the first
first
date?
date.
I mean, you know, I'm gonna reach for my wallet at the same time when the bill comes. But like, if you're not reaching for your wallet at all, no, that's a red flag. Like, you are not a provider.
Yeah.
maybe he's
I
paying
agree.
through Apple Pay or
I just
something.
wanna.
Maybe it's on
That's
his
not what
phone,
he's
right?
asking.
You know, we got these smart watches. Just be able to swipe.
Yeah, but you know, if I'm pulling for, like, if I'm reaching for the bill and you're not reaching for it too,
Swipe.
Right.
okay, but you better tell me you swiped on your phone, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I agree.
I like
I
that.
tend to always want to see just the guy's position, and if they want to, just because of tradition's sake. But I wouldn't mind if it goes half and half, or if the women insist. But for me, traditionally, I like to see the guy try first, just to see where their mind is at.
Yeah.
Same thing here. I feel like it's kind of just it's like a very suggestive thing, like on the first date, and I don't mind paying for it, going half and half, like occasionally saying, hey, it's okay, I got dinner tonight, whatever. But yeah, the first date is very important. Like it just shows, like, even if you did, like, if you did do that, I wouldn't mind paying for the first date. I just need to know, like, I need to see initiative.
Exactly.
You know? That's all it is.
What if the guy's like, put your wallet away, right? Or like the next couple of dates, he's like actively like paying for everything. Is that an issue?
No.
No.
It's not really an issue, but I would still like tell him, like, hey, are you sure? Like,
Yeah.
I can get it. It's not a big deal, you know?
Like, I wouldn't mind if, I could pay for this, and
Right.
you for that. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
Oh, it's
That's ladies.
Oh, last question.
Oh,
No,
me
I
again?
just asked.
Mac, no,
It's
no.
a guy's turn.
No, they
No,
asked
I
us,
was
so
just
I
asking
pick
a
a
question.
question now.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Go ahead. Shuffle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the last question is, please be a great one.
I'm like a pageant.
All right. I think my friends actually wanted me to submit this question. So, for the men, why is it that some men are homophobic but slap each other's asses in sports?
Great question.
I don't know if we got enough time for that one.
Making sure
What's
it's
the difference?
sweet.
We only got a
There's
few
big
minutes.
difference. If we're on the same team, right?
What you about to say, Jeff?
If we're on the same team, right? No, this is we all on a basketball team, right? And then we give them high fives and slaps on the ass. I mean, in sports, that's normal. Until if you like grabbing my ass or like
Sticking a finger up in the face. Good play.
Gosh.
Way to shoot that 3.
Jeez.
Boy, that was a hell of a dime.
no, it's a difference. It's a
Chill on
difference
that.
between sports and reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not very long.
That's a hard no for me. I don't do that.
No, we good with the fist bump.
Yeah,
man.
Oh, so you're saying you personally
It
you
happens.
So
but
you
Yeah.
think
not
it's
like in a
you
game.
think it's
not
kind of
like
gay
in a
if
I
guys
think
do
it's a
that?
little
like a
something.
sexual-
Really?
Yeah.
I
That's
play ball.
interesting.
I played all kind of fucking ball, and it's and I'm not homophobic at all. I mean, I got gay people in my family. I'm not homophobic. Do you? And I think it's more of an instinctual thing. You know what I mean?
To slap each other's asses?
Yeah, I really do. I mean,
It sounds crazy,
in
but
the sports arena. I mean, it just does.
the men's word is like,
You know, because you pat people on the back, you get fist bumps and all that shit. But I don't know, the ass is meaty. You know, I don't know what it is, but I've hit 1,000 asses, and I've never thought twice about like, oh yeah, I did have a coach once, and this kid, he was a freshman. He was doing a rebounding drill. Bless his coach's heart. He's gone now. And he was married, but he liked guys, and this kid went up for a rebound, and he was a freshman, and he threw the ball out, and turned and looked at me, and he patted the kid on the ass, and he said, yeah, nice ass for a freshman, huh, Foreman? I'm like, oh shit.
Oh shit,
So,
damn.
so
that
crazy
was a
shit.
red flag right there.
Yeah.
No, he was serious. Like he was a serious guy. Like, and he was bullshitting, I do believe.
He was married with a woman.
With the woman, yeah.
Oh,
but I think
he was
it's
on
more,
the down low.
But just to answer your question, I think it's more of an instinctual thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to hit somebody in the small of their back. You know, I don't know. I've hit, like I said, I've hit 1,000 guys on the ass and never thought anything of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is a crazy thing.
One
But
more? Or good? One more?
one more? Okay,
Alright,
one
so
more.
Kind of an odd way to end the whole.
Yeah. Yeah, let's.
What, slapping
Let's
ass?
not do that.
I think it depends on the slap and the actual grab. Like, okay.
Well, the finger would be worse.
Oh Jesus.
Come here. What do you got? What do you got, Cole Mac?
Let me find a good one.
Shuffle them.
All right, so this will be the actual last question.
I'm shuffling.
Yeah. Next session.
Last one.
There's gonna be a part 2. I guarantee that.
Mm-hmm.
Next month is gonna be a part 2.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
We gotta do a part
Here's
two.
here's a good one.
anniversary.
Be nice to us,
That's
Mac.
July.
No, this should be
What
good.
you got?
What is
What you
a good
got?
one?
Why continue to take relationship advice from your circle of sisters when it has caused problems or breakups in the past?
Dang.
Ooh, that's deep. It's goddamn.
Damn.
Let's put questions together.
That's some Oprah shit.
From your circle sisters, like your friends and.
Yeah. You know how the ones, especially the single ones.
Okay, well I'm
Always
single.
hooking
Ooh,
up
okay,
with-
that's
you know.
good. That you
Okay,
pointed
so
out.
I mean, I listen to all my friends' advice, like the girls who are my core, because we care about each other. I know that they're looking out for me. So that would be a reason why I take their advice. Because they're able to see the red flags that maybe I'm seeing like rose-colored glasses. I'm not seeing the red flags clearly. So that's why I take advice from my friends, even if they are single, because I know they want what's good for me.
But I mean, say you got that one friend. They're always giving you advice. You're always following it. But then you'd be like, damn, why am I always breaking up every time I listen
But
to her?
is it
And I
a
really
matter?
like, but
is
I
it
really like this.
Is it a matter of the bad advice or just bad men?
Could
Bad
be
advice.
or
They
bad
hear
advice.
bad advice.
Because say it's a guy you really like. She knows you really like him. Maybe it's just a matter you got some obstacles to work over. But you just side with her. Oh, that's my girl. That's my
Oh.
ride or die. Let me just go with her. But now you're always single with her.
Oh no! I
Yeah.
mean, if I became aware that that girl is trying to just destroy my relationships, goodbye. I will not be taking her advice.
I think girls tend to have an instinct of knowing when there's something fishy going on or something just feels off, and the girl would start to be like, "Wait, I don't understand where you're coming from with this. Like, what are you trying to tell me?" So I feel like you also kind of have to know the girls that you surround yourself with, that you call your clique. But at the same time, I mean, if you are cool with the girls that you're with, that they're your clique, then there's always that one friend that you're much more closer to, that you would tend to gravitate to because you know they know you. So I feel like it really depends on the quality of relationship.
I think you gotta know your friends also. Just like you gotta know your partner, you gotta know your friends or your sister, like your sisters. Like, I would take advice if I already had a hunch from the beginning. Like if they confirm something and I'm like, okay, yeah, she's right. You know, that's the time that I would never question. But there's times that they go based off what they went through, and I'm like, we're not like. My man is not, he's not gonna do to me what your man did to you. I'm sorry that, and it could come from a good place, whatever they're saying, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's my situation. That's 2.
Yeah,
Number 3, sometimes I feel like, say this.
Say
Sometimes
it.
I feel like
Here
some
we
of your
go.
friends, you know, they kind of say things maybe, yeah, them being single or whatever, maybe out of bitterness or maybe because they don't like the person personally. I think that a true friend is a person that, if they know that you're not in an abusive relationship or whatever, but they kind of just don't like your partner, like they see red flags. I think one of the best things that one of my friends told me was, what this person told me was, I don't like this person, but I know that you love him, so I'm going to support you.
Right.
But whatever happens from here on, like, I'm always on your side, you know? Just know I don't like him, but I love you, so I'll support you. So I feel like that's kind of like, you know, that's like a different take on it. But that's kind of a tricky one. You have to know your friends and, like, you know, like where they truly come from, you know?
Yeah,
Yes.
got
That's
any
it.
friends.
Gotta know your friends.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
You could know if you want.
Let's go
I
one
go
more.
Do it, Thad, you up.
OT
I'm up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Let's do it like
Oh,
that.
Thaddeus.
Let's do one
Last one for real.
for both.
Oh,
Neutral one.
okay.
Every day I'm shuffling. Okay. That's just boring.
Well, what is it?
Pick another one.
This shit boring as sin.
Pick another one.
Pick another one.
I don't know if it's
So wait, this is another question for the girls?
this is
Neutral.
for both.
Oh, okay,
Neutral
okay,
on
okay.
both sides.
Okay. Oh wow, this is pretty good.
Oh, God.
Okay, here we go. This is for both. Why do you just disappear if you don't want to keep dating me? Why not just say something?
Whoa.
Some ghosting people.
Ooh, this is an
Yeah.
amazing question.
People ghosting people.
Ghosting.
Ghosting.
There's a lot
Don't
that goes
cast
in that
my
question.
ass. Just tell me.
Who wants to start?
Somebody
let's
start.
I'm
Go
sure
ahead.
everybody here has ghosted somebody, no?
Yes.
Or they've been ghosted.
I'm gonna say
Yes.
ghosts.
I never
Yeah.
ghosted
The
anyone.
definition of ghosting is just disappearing without a trace.
Yeah.
I never did that shit.
You never ghost?
Nah,
I haven't.
No, me
Oh.
neither. I was always upfront with them.
I've been ghosted
yeah, I
and
was up
ghosted.
the road with them.
Been
Mhm.
ghosted.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think a lot of people think. Well, I'm gonna say a lot of people. I think the person that's doing the ghosting thinks that it's gonna be easier on the other person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
To just just to like leave it alone. I know it's not going anywhere. Fuck all the words and all that. I'm gonna get with you. That's like the homie that you see, man. Let's do lunch, knowing damn well you ain't gonna never do lunch.
Pause,
No,
can you
it's-
answer, so for the girl side, like when guys go so hard in the beginning, like they want to marry you, they're building a future with you, and then guys just upright ghost.
Oh, you know what that is?
It's a
It's
reason for
a maturity thing. Maybe they
It's
met
maturity.
somebody else.
Or
Yeah.
or it's some shit
Yeah.
going on with that person. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
If anybody ghosts you and they're talking about doing something or something like that, they might have something else going on the
Yeah.
real.
What do you mean
Nine out of
by
10.
that?
Like another woman.
another
Like
woman.
another woman.
relationship.
Or
yeah.
it could be a mindset.
You know what I mean?
Like, if they don't see, in the beginning, you can see yourself with that person, but once y'all start growing, years go by, and like I don't really see myself being with this person. I think that's what it is.
But
Some people can't break up with people. Some people
Exactly.
find it hard to
Like
say, I don't want to be
confrontation.
with you
That's not
anymore.
you
Like,
can't
some
break
people-
up. Like some people are scared. Like,
Some people can't do it.
But I think the question is more like if you're dating someone.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
a long
Yeah, that's the
relationship,
question,
that's
dating.
that
No, I'm
for you to
saying,
ghost
if
someone,
you-
like
Okay.
Yeah, you're
That's-
so scared to hurt that person's feelings. You don't want to do it.
Like you think that as they got to know each other, maybe they realized there was something that kind of turned them off?
Yeah, that could be it. That could be one reason why. I don't know. It depends on the person.
I think it depends on immaturity. Like, because I've seen that from both girls and guys, where
No.
they'll
I
ghost
don't
this
think
person,
it-
and I'm like, why did you do that? Why weren't you just upfront with him? Like,
I don't
I
think
didn't
it's
like
im-
him like that,
No,
or
I don't think it's immaturity. On some cases it is, but some cases is like, like I said, you don't want to hurt the person's feelings, or you don't know how to approach that person and tell them that. You love this person so much.
Poor communication skills.
Yeah, it's communication skills. Like you love this person so much, like you don't want to say anything.
I think that there's
That will crash your world,
I
but
feel
at the
like
end of the day, you do.
I'll stand with immaturity because I've been in situations where I'm like, fuck, I don't want to hurt this guy's feelings, or I don't want to whatever, but I'm still very upfront because I know that he deserves to know like my sincere truth.
people
Like
need
I'm
that.
not trying to waste your time. I'm not leading you on. This is just what it is, and I'm sorry. And I've had that in return. No one's ever really ghosted me like that. Like I think because they saw me, they're like, oh, I can't play with her. I'm scared of her. Like, so they would.
That's right. Because some people need that reality.
Yeah.
But some people just don't want to deal with that, and that's how we live.
And I think a part of it, comes from, well, a part of it being immaturity, but I think a lot of it comes from just, I would say, being a coward. Me, I'm the type of person, I don't like confrontations, but if it comes to that moment when someone has to tell me something, I'd rather be told the truth and let it hurt me than to be led on. But at the end of the day, no, the idea of just not, I understand fear and I understand what it means to be afraid, but I think at the same time, if you took the risk to know that person and you wanted to get to know that person, you approached that person, there was a reason behind it.
Some people play games too.
Some people play games, so,
you know,
so a part of it comes from the immaturity.
Yeah.
And kind of like, let me just get my feet wet with this person, just to kind of get a feel of that person. So
let me put them away, and then I'll pick up where I left them off at.
Sometimes that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out. So it's kind of like you're messing up on your behalf because you're kind of leading that person on without giving them the full story of yourself. But then it's like,
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is it kind of like leaving the door open? Like if you ever wanted to go back, kind of like what you were just saying?
It's almost like you're leaving
people it is, but it all depends on you. If you've been in that situation before and that person treated you in that way, for me, it's like, get the fuck out of here.
I think in the initial stages, and the key thing is dating. You know, if you're paying attention, like, to the conversation, you can see there's cues, there's red flags within the conversation. If you could, like, go back and read the chain to see that, oh, okay, this person is gone. Now I see why. You know what I mean? I really, really do.
But sometimes you don't see that.
No.
Sometimes you don't.
A lot of times you don't.
And a lot of times you don't. So that's why there's times.
Go ahead, finish.
So that's why a lot of times you have that friend who's like, there's something about that person I don't like.
Yeah.
Is that okay? I got one quick question. Is that a wrong thing to do? Just to cut off communication with somebody? Is that a real fucked up thing to do?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, if that person really likes you, because it's like they're waiting on you and then you just disappear out of nowhere, you know?
Yeah, it's messed
So
up.
so the Ghostbuster T-shirt comes in the play. You see what I'm saying? That shit comes into play a lot more so than we know now, right?
Yeah.
So now you got the girlfriend and boyfriend or this signal intertwined with the Ghostbuster sign. That's a fucking T-shirt. Don't do it. I like that.
That's it. So comes to episode 10.
What?
Hey!
Yep. Definitely having a part 2 next month.
Yes.
So everybody will come through for part 2 next month. Also in July is our 1-year anniversary.
What? Congratulations!
A lot of big things planned for the anniversary. So we're still working on that one. So everybody's going around, give their social media, and let everybody.
Don't let it be the last week of June because I'll be out of
No, we're
New York.
July.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We got shout out. We got time for a shout out.
Yeah,
Got time for shout out. Go ahead.
Everybody shout out.
Shout out. Elise, what you got, baby? What you got?
Yo, this is Uba. Check me out on YouTube, Ill-Minded Media. Got some cool video reviews of like movies, music, all my favorite stuff. So check me out there.
What is it? How can they find you?
You can look me up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Ill-Minded Media.
Nice.
Thank you.
I'm taking social media detox just for a little bit. It's what's needed.
Good for you.
But check me out on
Like that.
Instagram at Scorpio16.
I don't know where you can find my ass out. Find me on the block, but find me, motherfuckers. I'm loving y'all. You see what I'm saying? Thanks for coming out. Want to shout out to Inktown and everybody out. And it was just good to be back. You know, I know we missed the session, and I'm just glad to be back.
Hey, this is Vernice. You can find me on Instagram, Viva Vernice, and see all of my advertisements. And don't get annoyed with me. Just, support. Thank you.
Beautiful modeling.
Oh, stop.
You can check me out on Instagram, CatBlanco3, and vocal.media, where I have my blog writings.
Like that.
Okay. And then you can find me on Instagram at her.lovely.story_. I know that's complicated, but you can find me there.
I like that.
Yeah. For me, it's Max in General 2 at on Instagram. follow our social media page. Instagram at Saucy Conversations with a Z at the end. You can follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Leave a comment. Any questions you want to ask on Battle of the Sexes Part 2 to set us up. Shout out to Quick Vodka. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting us since day one. We're getting closer to that 1 year anniversary in July. It's going to be real big. We're going to have everybody who's a part of season 1 be on this last episode of season 1. So just hit us up.
Yay.
And, got anything to access, we're going to just bring it to the forefront.
Shout out to our engineer.
Shout out to our
Hey! Thank you for taking care of us.
Shout outs to the ladies. Shout outs to the boys.
Hey.
Yes,
Shout outs
it's
to
a fun
everybody.
game.
Thank you for having me, guys. What?
Like that. Right.